Listen, guys, I don't play in the NBA, but I do know a little bit something. I do know that in the clutch, you want to make your free throws. In the clutch, you don't want to mess up defensive rotations. In the clutch, you don't want to turn the ball over or even almost turn the ball over. Yes, if you watch basketball like how I do, you know I'm talking about the New York Knicks and the fact that they blew that lead with 14 seconds left. Well, excuse me, up 14 with 2 minutes left to go in the game and lost in overtime. Welcome back to the MC Show. It's your boy MC. We're gonna talk about the conference finals. The conference finals has started. Last time y'all saw me, I was talking about how the NBA draft was rigged. Since then, you know, Oklahoma City defeated the Denver Nuggets. Minnesota beat Golden State in 5. The Boston Celtics lost to the New York Knicks in 6. Unfortunately, Jason Tatum had that Achilles injury. We wish him the best. Unfortunately, you probably won't see him at all next season. So, 26-27. Can't wait to see Jason Tatum. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers got demolished by this Indiana Pacers team that seems to be the clutchest team in the history of the playoffs. I've never seen a team that's down by 10, 12, 6 with a minute or two left to go in the game and somehow miraculously keep winning the games. I don't know how they do it. They just do it. Like I was remembering. I was like, man, you know, in game 1, excuse me, not in game 1, in game 5 against the Milwaukee Bucks, like the Gary Trent Jr. turned the ball over a couple of times and they're able to force overtime. Like, could they do this again? You know, in Cavs game 2 in the second round, you know, a couple, you know, defensive lapses from the Cleveland Cavaliers and a missed free throw and offensive rebound and they win the game. Could they do it again a third time? In a row, in the playoffs, in the rounds, and they do it. We're gonna talk about obviously both games, but the Knicks Pacers game is one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my entire playoff life. I'm recording this on the day of game 2. Game 2 is later today. Oklahoma City and the Minnesota Timberwolves, their game 2 was yesterday. Minnesota lost by, 13, I believe. I feel like there's not much to take away from that game, but we'll talk about that later. From those games, just because OKC has been so dominant. But we're going to talk about that game later. Right now, we're going to be focusing on the Knicks-Pacers series. As we all have seen, Tyrese Halliburton hits literally, Tyrese Halliburton ran to the middle of the paint. Mikal Bridges, he goes behind Tyrese Halliburton, reaches, tips the ball a little bit. Halliburton loses control, but very, very little, but still gets it. And then he just, you know what? I'm just going to run back to the three-point line on my Reggie Miller stuff. And then hits a crazy, crazy shot. It bounced off the back of the rim all the way up and then back down. Bro, when I tell you, I saw that. I saw it go all the way up. I was like, yo, this actually might bounce in. And it did, and I was just like, whoa! I was in my room screaming. Because I just couldn't believe that they did it again. And at that time, I didn't look to see if his foot was on the line. But it was. I believe his right foot was on the three-point line. So they ended up going to overtime. And obviously they ended up winning by 3. But this was a very offensive game. And this probably will be a very big offensive series. Both these teams were, I think, neck and neck in defensive rating. I want to say they're like 13, 14. But both these teams are really good offensively. The Knicks just can score because of Brunson and Towns. Indiana just efficient ball movement. Everybody can hit their shots. They're so good at creating open shots for one another. And all those guys take really good, efficient, open shots. The loss, though, on the Knicks was on the defensive side of the ball. And it was, one, missed free throws. You have to hit your free throws at the end. Karl-Anthony Towns goes to the line, hits 1 of 2. OG Anunoby goes to the line, hits 1 of 2. If OG Anunoby hit both free throws, they would have won the game. Because Tyrese Halliburton, even if Tyrese Halliburton still hit the shot, his foot would have been on the line. They would have been up. They would have won by 1 point, and then boom, they're up 1-0 instead of the Indiana Pacers. But they go to the line and they go 2 for 4 between Karl-Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby. That's one. Number two, missed defensive assignments. Aaron Nesmith, MVP of the game. I know Tyrese Halliburton had 31 and I believe 11 assists, and he hit the clutchest shot you'll probably ever see. But man, Aaron Nesmith, 30 points, 8 of 9 from 3. This guy was really on the Boston Celtics at one point and was not getting any minutes. And the guy gets traded after 2 years in Boston to the Indiana Pacers and just turns into a complete two-way player. Like, he's not an elite offensive player, but when you're playing with, obviously, Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, you don't necessarily need to be. You just need to be good at a few things, and he can attack closeouts a little bit. He's not an off-the-dribble player. He's not really that menacing on offense, but boy, can he shoot the three. He really improved his three-point percentage a lot over these few years. He is now a 40% three-point shooter. He finishes game 1 8 of 9 from 3 and hit, I want to say he hit what, like 5 threes in the fourth quarter and 2 threes at the end with less than a minute left to keep them in the game. It was an incredible performance. I feel like Tyrese Halliburton has gotten a lot of praise, as he should. Let's just not forget the fact that Aaron Nesmith was absolutely fantastic that game. But OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges did leave him wide open for those threes at the end. Like, he wasn't in his grill. You knew they wanted to get off a three, and they were able to get him off. That's bad defense. OG Anunoby, for the most part, I would say, didn't have his greatest game. It's not the worst OG Anunoby game ever, but he had to be better. And he just wasn't good enough. Missing free throws, defensive rotations were late. They weren't good. And you get Aaron Nesmith good enough open threes for him to keep them in the game. Turnovers. Jalen Brunson, turnover. On an inbound, I forget if it was fourth quarter or if it was overtime, but there was an inbound play and Josh Hart slipped. He was able to get the ball back. Indiana Pacers foul, but just like those little itty bitty mistakes. This game was close. Like, until obviously that run that the New York Knicks had. Jalen Brunson picks up his 5th foul, or a dumb foul on TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell goes up. I believe he gets the N1 on a layup. He goes to the bench. They go on like a 14-0 run. The Indiana Pacers did 2 stupid things. The same thing, but twice. They fouled 2 guys shooting threes. You cannot do that. Aaron Nesmith and Andrew Nembhard did it. Both did it. OG Anunoby scores like 5 points. They're up 14. New York Knicks crowd is going crazy. But from after that to all the way to the end of overtime, it just wasn't good. This was a close game. Whichever team could get a defensive stop or multiple defensive stops, get some kills. If you don't know what kills are 3 stops in a row. If any team can get a kill or 2, then this game was going to be won. Indiana Pacers were the one to do it because the New York Knicks turned the ball over, missed free throws, missed defensive assignments, and then boom. Look. They are now staring at a 0-1 deficit. In terms of adjustments, I don't necessarily think that the Indiana Pacers or the New York Knicks necessarily did anything wrong, especially on the offensive end. Like, defensively, like somebody got to play defense. The score was 138 to 135. Look, Karl-Anthony Towns, 35 points, 12 rebounds. 11 of 17 from the field, like 4 of 8 from 3. In the Boston Celtics series, this guy made like 3 threes in the entire 6 games. And then he comes against the Indiana Pacers, 4 of 8 from 3. Miles Turner, I think, has been very good, very solid defensively this entire postseason. Miles Turner was getting cooked by Karl-Anthony Towns. He was getting fried. Karl-Anthony Towns was picking and popping. He was driving into the basket to Miles Turner repeatedly, hitting really tough shots. It was just like Miles Turner didn't finish the game. As good as Miles Turner was, Miles Turner, he started off the game very well. He hit like his first, I want to say 4 or 5 shots in a row. And then, I don't know, just the rest of the game, he was just continuously getting cooked by Karl-Anthony Towns. Miles Turner had 14, but not good enough when you are giving up 35 and 12 on the other end on extremely efficient shooting. Jalen Brunson, phenomenal game. 43 points, 5 assists. Extremely efficient as well. Got to the free throw line 14 times. The Knicks as a team got to the free throw line 40 times, but we talk about missed free throws, 28 of 40. Like Mitchell Robinson, obviously he's not a good free throw shooter. He missed both of his, but like everybody just missed 1 or 2 free throws. Bridges missed both his free throws. Brunson missed 2, but he was 12 for 14. Karl-Anthony Towns, 99 for 11. Karl-Anthony Towns has been shooting 92% from the free throw line in these playoffs, and then missed the critical one at the end. You gotta hit your free throws. If they don't miss 12 free throws, they probably win the game. Sometimes you could dumb it out to stuff like that, even though that's not the exact reason. But when you look at little stuff, like where could they improve on, it's like, hit your free throws, right? But my point was, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns gave you fantastic games. OG Anunoby, 16 points. He was 6 for 15. No, I didn't necessarily think he was fantastic. Mikal Bridges gives you 16. Offense was not the problem. On Indiana's side, you get Halliburton, of course, 31 and 11. Siakam had 17. Aaron Nesmith again with 30. You got TJ McConnell, 10 points in 14 minutes. Obi Toppin, who ended up finishing the game over Miles Turner, 8 big points, 10 big rebounds, hit a clutch dunk that he was fouled on that wasn't called. It was not called. I guess that's a makeup call for the fact that on the other end, like a couple plays before that, Miles Turner did that was a goaltending on Miles Turner. That was a goaltending. He turned the ball over because he just for some reason dropped the pass and then goes on the other end and Jalen Brunson goes to the basket. He blocks it. You just look at the replay. It was in fact a goaltending that wasn't called. The refs made a mistake. They should have called goaltending because if they call goaltending, then they can go review it to see if it was right or wrong. The refs, gotta do a better job doing that. The Knicks can't make those mistakes again. I think that's just the bottom line. The Knicks cannot make those kinds of mistakes again. OG Anunoby can't be missing defensive assignments. He can't be 6 for 15 from the field. Jalen Brunson, something we didn't talk about, he has 7 turnovers. That's not good. He can't keep turning the ball over against this team. The Indiana Pacers play too fast. They push the pace too many times for you to be giving them free shots. Like they have advantages. The New York Knicks have advantages. They can offensive rebound. If you have Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns, who only played, I think, 7 minutes together, like bump that up. Bump that up. I know that but if listen, I know Josh Hart is important. He had 8, 13, and 7. But, if you can give Mitchell Robinson of, 5 more minutes with Karl-Anthony Towns, you have to take out one of the core guys. I would do it. I would do it. They're not the Indiana Pacers aren't necessarily a rebounding team. Get extra possessions against these guys. Get fouled. There were times when Mitchell Robinson, who was just, relentlessly on trying to get offensive rebounds, and every time that would happen, the Knicks would get the ball and score. More Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns, please. If they can keep being efficient, Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, if they can keep being efficient like this, they have a big chance to win. But they can't. They can't turn the ball over and make those mistakes at clutch in the clutch. And if you're up 14, 15 points against this team with 2, 3, 4 minutes left, the game is not over. The Indiana Pacers are absolutely relentless when it comes to staying in the game and playing until the final buzzer. You have the Oklahoma City Thunder going up 2-0 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Oklahoma City Thunder are dominating the third quarter. I think it's so funny. Not funny, but crazy in a good way. Oklahoma City Thunders, their offense, especially in the half court, hasn't necessarily been fantastic. But their defense is so good. They force so many turnovers that they can get so many points off their defense that if their offense is just mid, they're still able to dominate. Like, this defense is so dominant that is like, I don't know how many teams have scored 100 points on them in the playoffs. Like, it's absolutely insane. They're not, it's not like they're scoring like 150 points, 130 points. I know 150 points is 50 points is crazy, but it's not like they're scoring so much. They're limiting the opportunities of the opponent so often that even if their offense isn't that good, it just doesn't matter. You look at this box score from game 2. They were 9 for 33 from 3. That's 27%. They didn't shoot that well from 3. From 2 they were fine. From 2 they were fine. But from 3 they were just not that good. They don't turn the ball over themselves. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 38 points. He was absolutely phenomenal. J-Dub, 26 and 10. Chet Holmgren, 22 points. Everybody was efficient. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is doing whatever he wants against Jaden McDaniels, who obviously is one of the best defenders in the league. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. They have defense everywhere. J-Dub just made the all-defensive team. That came out yesterday. Lou Dort made first-team all-defense. Alex Caruso, Kaysen Wallace, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, it's just waves and waves of defense and arms and turnovers that Minnesota, it's just been swallowing up Minnesota's offense. And I feel like Minnesota has been a prolific three-point shooting team this season in terms of rate and percentage. And I think Oklahoma City's defense is just, where they're going to let them shoot threes. Minnesota is getting wide open threes, but I think it's also by design because Oklahoma City Thunder is not going to let, Anthony Edwards just get into the paint all the time. Or Rudy Gobert try to dominate on offense. Rudy Gobert has been bad. 5 points, 9 rebounds, not good enough. I know he's not an offensive guy, but he has to be able to dominate the paint a little bit more on both sides of the floor. And it just hasn't happened. Julius Randle, 6 points. Julius Randle has been fantastic this playoffs. He didn't even play in the fourth quarter. 6 points, 5 rebounds. He was 2 for 11. This was his worst game of the playoffs. He absolutely has to bounce back tomorrow. Absolutely. Jaden McDaniels gives you 22 points. Naz Reid, 10 points. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 17 points. Anthony Edwards led the way with 32, 9, and 6. But man, it's so hard to score on this Oklahoma City defense. It's so hard to score. And Shai is so good at drawing fouls. He's so good at just getting to his spots. He's so good at pulling up. He's so good in the mid-range. And everybody else is just able to play off of all that attention that Shai is able to make. And on the other side, the Minnesota Timberwolves just don't have that. Like, as good as Anthony Edwards was, they're not scoring efficient enough. They're not scoring from efficient places enough. They're settling sometimes for many threes. 11 of 39, that's decent amount, but they're just not getting into the paint enough. Like, Anthony Edwards is 1 of 9 from 3. He's fine from 2, but 1 of 9 from 3. Naz Reid, 0 for 5 from 3. Like, yeah, like Minnesota Timberwolves, the players might look at it and be like, oh, we're getting open shots, but you're not making them. 1, and 2, you're not getting to the basket enough. Oklahoma City's defense is it's unreal. It's unreal. They're so suffocating. They turn you over so many times. And then on the other side, like, the Minnesota Timberwolves aren't forcing enough turnovers. Minnesota have 14 turnovers this game, 17 turnovers in game 1. If you don't win the turnover battle with the Oklahoma City Thunder, you're losing. It's a loss. You have to not turn the ball over. You have to try to take efficient shots. They foul a lot because they try to steal the ball a lot. So you have to try to get to the basket. If you settle for jump shots, you're not gonna get foul calls. They have to do a better job. If they're down 2-0, they're down 0-2 right now. If they lose game 3 tomorrow, Oklahoma City's going to the finals. I thought Oklahoma City Thunder was going to the finals already, but if they obviously if the Minnesota Timberwolves want to make this a series, they have to be better on both sides of the floor. Julius Randle has to have a better game. They can't be settling for threes. They have to try to force more turnovers for the Oklahoma City Thunder side. Like 6 turnovers is too little. Plus 11 in the turnover margin for Oklahoma City is just not good. I just don't know how you win against the Oklahoma City Thunder if you're going to be turning the ball over that many times. It is not, it's easier said than done. Oklahoma City Thunder, again, their defense is so good that it's hard to score on them. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. They just have to be better execution-wise, and maybe they have a chance. I'm very excited for Game 2 tonight. Knicks, Pacers, 8 o'clock. Be there or be squared. We'll be back to discuss the future games, Games 2, Games 3, Games 4, yada, yada, yada. But that's all I have for you guys today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I didn't say that in the beginning, now that I remembered. So make sure y'all do that. But like, comment, subscribe, get the video out to as many people as possible, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.